Hello, this Take 5 is going to be focusing on copying your course from one shell to another. Every semester, we need to take our current course content and copy it to a brand new shell. For example, in the fall, if you're teaching the course that you're planning to also teach in the spring, you're going to have to take your fall course minus all the students and the participation and copy it over to a blank spring shell. We're going to go down to the control panel and we're going to go to Package and Utilities, and we're going to expand that area. Notice we have lots of choices here, but we're going to select Course Copy. It's going to take us to a new screen that talks about copying the course over, making an exact copy. The first thing we want to do is select the copy type. Now, even though copy course materials into an existing course doesn't make sense, that's the choice we're going to choose. The reason is it's going to give us this destination course ID and the browse button. If we don't choose the second option into an existing course, you're not going to have the copy option feature of the browse button to select your destination course ID. So if for some reason that doesn't come up, you may have to go back and select the correct copy type. So I'm going to scroll down here a little bit so you can see this, and I'm going to click on the Browse button, and the dialog box will pop up. And notice I will have a list of all the shells that I have available to copy this course content in. So I'm going to make sure that I select the correct one. I'm going to click on this Dev Blackboard 101 because it's a blank shell and there's nothing in it right now. And then I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to click on Submit. And so it will appear in the Destination Course ID text box. Now the next item is Select Course Materials, and I'm going to just select everything in the content areas. Now notice that everything that's in your menu should show up here in the content areas. So I'm going to make sure that I select all. Adaptive release rules for content. If you have any particular dates and criteria that you have assigned with some of your items and your assignments, then you're going to want to make sure you select adaptive release rules for content. The good news is I would select it anyway, just in case, even if you're not sure. It's not going to hurt anything if you didn't have any adaptive release, but it certainly is going to move those adaptive release rules over if you did and forgot about them. Now the next part of this is some of the communication tools and some of the other tools that you have available in your class. Now you might look at this and say, well, I don't have any early warning system rules, and you don't have to select it. It's been my experience that I just check everything off because you never know if something is connected somewhere else or attached or assigned somewhere. The good news about this is if you select everything and say for instance you didn't have a glossary, it is not going to copy over because there's nothing to copy over. So that is the good news. I have been in the practice of selecting everything. Now I'm going to come down here to Course Files. Click Calculate Size to make sure the package size does not exceed the limit. Unless you have multiple images that are very large and not web size ready, or you have PowerPoints that you haven't compressed, I wouldn't worry about it. If you do get an error, then I would go back and calculate the size and then let me know if you're having some issues with that. Now the fourth item, Enrollments. Do not include enrollments in the copy. You do not want the records of your students to move over to the blank shell unless you were actually doing this to create an exact copy for archiving purposes. And in that case, if you are interested in doing that, there's another technique for that. So let me know if you would like to do that. For those of you who are using ePacks, you might see another option where it does give you an opportunity to select the ePack contents. Please make sure you do that, because if you don't select that ePack materials, your ePack materials are not in fact going to copy over. So once you're done, you're going to click Submit, and you will see a nice success alert will appear at the top of this screen. And it says course copy action queued, an email will be sent to you. Now an email should be sent to you fairly rapidly. The only thing that I would recommend is give it about 5 minutes before you go into the course to see how it has copied over. Make sure you have plenty of time to do the copy course procedure, and if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks a lot.